Okay, for this demonstration, I want to show you how to advance your bubble letter and block letter making skills. So in the last demo, in the original demo, we learned how we could use a skeleton of a letter, basically just writing it, in order to build a contour line around it, like the body going around the skeleton, to build out a good thickness for our letters. This is really helpful, especially when students have trouble with things like the letter S. A lot of times I see students make a block letter S by coming around like this, and then you have one curve that's really huge and one curve that's really little because they started with their original letter here and then only bubbled out one side of the letter. So remember that this works because we are treating the whole letter as equal and going around the entire thing in order to make the thickness equal all the way around the letter. So that was in our basics demo. So for some more advanced techniques, one thing that you can try is sometimes students want to make the bubble or block letter look like it is shaded on one side. An easy way to do that is to start on one of your curves and just focus on either just the top and right side and making the right side or the top of a letter have some extra stuff on there, and then you can shade this in or color this a different color if that's what you're choosing to do. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you add the extra side of these letters always consistently on the same side. So it's always on the top and it's always on the right. Or if you're doing it a different way, it's always on the bottom or it's always on the left. So we want to be consistent. So if I'm writing a word, I'm always going to focus on branching up off the top and the right of each piece of the letter. And I treat each leg of a letter the same. If I'm showing the right side of this leg of my H, I need to show the right side of this leg of my H. Now, inside circles, inside holes through letters, it's a little harder. You want to show the right side of the inside. So this is what I see over here, as if I'm looking through the hole, and top and right of my circle here, my O. Okay, just so you can see that. And then the same thing on my top of my W. I'm going to look for the top and the right, and the top of the valley, the top of the mountain, the right of the slide, and the top of the valley. Top of the mountain, right of the side here, and right of the inside. So always look for the same piece. Whatever you decide, whether it's bottom left, top right, bottom right, keep it consistent if you're making a word so that it all looks uniform together. Again, sorry about my kids being noisy. Another option, I've seen people focus on perspective. That's a little more advanced. I'm not going to show that in this demonstration, but as if everything seems to recede to one vanishing point. But I'll make another demonstration for that another time. Another thing you can do with bubble letters to be a little more advanced is to make fancier starting letters, fancier skeletons. So if, for example, if you know how to write in cursive, you could write a cursive letter. That's a letter L in script. And now I can bubble and block around my cursive letter too. So this changes things for me. Having the ability to start with regular handwriting and then add in these really fancy letters if I want to, really gives me a lot more flexibility in my block letters and bubble letters. And in graffiti, if people are interested in learning graffiti, there is another demonstration for that. So now I have a script L. Or if I wanted to make, let's see, maybe one that has like a serif and then it comes around and has serifs here and serifs here maybe, I don't know. Maybe I want to draw it fancy first. That gives me a little bit more control over the shape of the letter and where things need to overlap. Sometimes a letter needs to overlap itself because there's so many lines and so many details to it. So that's another thing you can try, is making your initial letter fancier and going from there, okay? If you're working in block letters and you want to do the shadows, just try to add in more blocky lines as if you're making cubes on your sides that you're choosing. Again, I'm looking at tops and rights right now. Okay, so a little bit of the top of this I'll see, and it'll hide back there. I don't see the left side of my G. I only can see two sides at a time, maximum. So try to make sure you either only see tops or only see bottoms or only see two sides, top right, or I could do a bottom on this one. So in this one, I'm focusing on the bottoms of my scripty letter instead of the top, but I'm consistent. It's always the right side and the bottom, and it'll always look like it's in perspective.